This week on Weekend Adventure Rides, we're tearing down this 2006 Harley Sportster and getting it ready for rebuild. Let's get started. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and remove the seat. Now, everything on the Harley is really pretty simple to remove. This uses a big Phillips head screwdriver to remove this bolt and then pull up and back and the seat comes right off. All right, next I'll remove this little storage rack on the rear fender. Again, number 3 Phillips. Okay, and that little storage rack comes off. Okay, carrying on, we have the sissy bar backrest I'm gonna remove. There's a nut on the inside. So 1/2 inch on the inside, and then I'm gonna use a 3/16 Allen key. From here, you should be able to just remove this dress up piece. Okay, and then the sissy bar backrest will just come off. Okay, the tail section, tail light, license plate bracket, and turn signals. You get rid of all these. This is a 5/32. So the nut on the back side of this is a 7/16. So there are screws on each side of this light housing. They are Phillips number 2s. And then the bolt just turns out. And before I remove this completely, I'm going to take all these connectors out. You can use a flathead screwdriver. I like to use a pick. Just push down on the connector here and pull these out. And then they'll push out through this hole here. And that housing just comes right off. And there's a clip here. Use a flathead or a pick again. You can just push that clip off. There's a bracket on the back side that should be able to remove. Okay, so Harley in their infinite wisdom has no forward thinking. So I'll have to pull the connectors out of this to get everything apart. So normally you're able to push down on these and get them to pull out, but I wasn't able to do that with these, so I just pulled them off, which is fine because we're not going to reuse any of this. So I'm just going to pull it apart and then we'll use different connectors next time. Taking the turn signal off. Use a 1/2 inch wrench, comes right off. Okay, this is a T40. This is the final nut and the fender will come off. Okay, so bolt on the back side. This T40 part is actually the nut side. Put those back together so I don't lose them. So that bolt breaks it loose, but we do have to pull off this module here in order to get to the connector underneath it. 7/16. Let's pull those nuts off. Lift that up. And then the connector we want to remove is right here. Okay, I got that separated. And then the fender is going to come off. Now we'll remove the side covers. I am going to paint these the same color as the tank and fender. So there's a couple of zip ties up here. I don't know if these are factory or not. This is a used motorcycle, so I'm assuming it's not. So once the zip ties are off, battery cover should just pop right off. There's a little clip at the bottom, and then that's off completely. It is a metal piece, so it's going to paint up really nice. Looking forward to that. All right, let's move over to the other side. We'll get the other side off. Over here on the other side, in order to remove this initially, you're going to have to remove the dipstick. So that just pushes down and then twists out. We get all the oil off of it. There's little buttons kind of at the top. This pops over, and then it just pops right off. Pretty simple. Put your cap back on. You don't want to leave this off. You're going to do it the correct side. Here we go. Twist it on. Okay, up here at the top, we're going to use a 1/4 inch hex drive. Okay, nut on the back side is indeed a 1/2 inch. Okay, so we got that bolt off the back, and then we have freed up. Oh, there we go. So then we'll take the bolt off the front. Okay, so again, 1/2 inch up here. Get rid of this little cover thing. Yeah, all right. All right, so we've got the bolts out. Now we're going ahead and remove all of the hoses that need to be removed. I'm going to use a flathead for this. So we'll take the hose clamps off. And I made sure to put the petcock on off. If there's fuel inside the gas tank, make sure it's off. Okay, and then pull the hose here. Okay, that one's off the petcock. There's one on the back side of the petcock here. There we go. All right. There we go. There's almost probably 3 gallons in that tank. Okay, carrying on, we've got to take these bars off. Starting off with the turn signals. Let's get those things off there. Okay, removing the turn signal, you're going to use a 5/32 to loosen up the set screw, and then the turn signal is just going to drop down. Now we have access to the rear mirror on the left side. 1/2 inch box end, ratcheting box end. Okay, and then that mirror should just pull right out. I'll put the washer and the nut back on there just so they don't get lost. Okay, to get this cotter pin out, you do have to use some snap ring pliers. I despise snap rings. Okay, got it off though. Okay, using a T27, you can remove the bolts on the hand grips. Okay, and that pulls the clutch away. So then we'll just remove the electronics side here. So T25, cut the top bolt out, and I'm going to twist it, and we'll remove the bottom bolt. Okay, and those two are separated, and I should be able to pull the left side off. There's nothing important about that. And there we go. Move over to the right side now. Just as we did on the other side, pop that turn signal loose. 1/2 inch socket on this side. Break the mirror loose. I'll pull the snap ring here. And then continuing on, this is a T25. And just like the other side, we got 2. And then the brake master cylinder, 2 bolts for that. No need to drain the master cylinder in this case, as we're not going to open it up yet. Everything's still very much sealed off. All the bolts are free. You can pull off the throttle cables. Okay, I should break it free. You can disconnect the other side and take these brass retainers off. Okay, pull these loose. They're not going to use those because they look like trash. Handlebar clamp, 1/4 inch. Get that off there. So the speedometer also held on with this clamp. Going to reuse the clamp. Okay, with those off there, just have to break the bars free. To remove the front fender, you're going to need a 1/2 inch box end and then a 1/4 inch hex. Okay, and then same thing on the opposite side. And then the front fender will just pull right off there. Thanks for watching this week's episode. We are done with the disassembly at this point. Let me go ahead and get started on reassembly. We're gonna do new bars, new fenders, new paint job, and then different seats. And then we may even do a 1250 kit on this bike. I haven't decided if we're gonna go that far with it yet. If you guys are interested in seeing a 1250 kit, please let me know down in the comments. All right. As far as this week goes, that's it. We'll see you next week.